For today's adventure, we are at Basset Creek Park, and you follow the Grand Round Scenic Byway from Theo Wirth Lake. Comes this way. You'll see a little garden on the left. This is Glenwood and Xerxes Avenue North. There's a little community garden on the left. The public restrooms are currently closed, but they have outhouses, which I don't understand that. You would think it would be more sanitary with the public restrooms open, but they don't normally open up the public restrooms till June anyways, because that's when the kids get out of school. Basset Creek is 70.26 acres. It's in the neighborhood of Harrison and Bryn Mawr. One of the trails that are by it is called the Luce Line Trail, and it comes right along the Theo Wirth Scenic Byway. It connects. So the Luce Line Trail and Scenic Byway meet up by the Victory Memorial. They meet up by the Theo Wirth Byway. The Luce Line Trail is a commuter biking trail that runs along Basset Creek. It passes through Cedar Park to the west and eventually reaches the city of Cosmos in west central Minnesota. And I will be doing a future video on that trail and byway system. And I'm including it into the Theo Wirth Scenic Byway because it meets up into it. It runs into it. The park is named for the creek that goes from Medicine Lake in Plymouth, and it goes through Golden Valley, Cedar Wirth Park, and Minneapolis to the Mississippi River, which is another byway system that we'll be doing in the future, going along the mini Mississippi. The creek was named for Joel Basset, the first settler on the creek's banks, a member of the city council in 1872. The first judge of probate in Hennepin County. The first land for the park along Basset Creek between Brownmoor Park and Theo Wirth Park was acquired in 1930 by Arthur Freund and the Glenwood Inglewood Company, donated 13.4 acres for a park along the creek. Freund was a city council member and ex officio park commissioner at the time. In 1934, the park board purchased 43 acres to expand the park. The land was almost acquired. However, many years earlier, when Brownmoor Meadow, part of the estate of John Oswald, one of the original park commissioners, was purchased from his heirs in 1911, the park board had considered acquiring the valley of Basset Creek all the way to Glenwood Cedar Wirth Parkway Park. At the time, it was considered a possible parkway route from Loring Park through the Parade and Brownmoor to Glenwood Park. In the end, the board acquired Brownmoor Meadow only as far west as Cedar Lake Road. Interest in Basset Creek surfaced again in 1924, when Park Superintendent Theo Wirth made a survey of the area. He wrote in 1924's annual report that he believed the land should be owned by the park board and suggested that unsightly and unsanitary land could be made attractive at comparatively small expense. Opposition to the plan by the residents of the area, however, dissuaded the park board from pursuing the issue. Wirth noted that in 1929, Theo Wirth noted in 1929 that the idea of acquiring the creek had been revived, and he submitted a plan for the development of the potential park in 1929. In 1930, the Freund family and Glenwood Inglewood Company offered to donate more than 13 acres along the creek for the park and delivered deeds to the land in December 1930. Over the next 3 years, the park board and residents of the area debated how much land should be purchased to add to the donated land and how the costs would be assessed to property owners. Assessing property owners for anything during the Great Depression met with opposition. In February 1934, the park board designated 43 acres of land for purchase. The price was less than $14,000, which was assessed on property in the district. It was one of the park board's few land acquisitions from the beginning of the Depression until after World War II. The park was enlarged in 1944 by more than 3 acres when the park board agreed to swap 2 acres of the park for more than 5 acres of railroad land beside the park. Following the initial improvements to the park, the federal funding, very few improvements were made to the park for many years. The next time that Basset Creek featured in the park plans was in the 1950s, when the water flow in the creek was coveted to raise the water levels in the chain of lakes to the south. Unlike Minnehaha Creek, Basset Creek never seemed to run out of water, so it was considered to be the best source for more water in the lakes. In 1958, a pipeline and pump were constructed from Basset Creek to Brownie Lake. Water pumped into Brownie Lake flowed into the Cedar Lake, Lake of the Isles, and Lake Calhoun, and eventually reached Lake Harriet. And I'm sorry the camera's like all over the place. I'm trying to hold the camera still while reading this at the same time. The new pumping station succeeded in raising the levels of those lakes more than 4 inches in 1958, but that wasn't enough. After examining several alternatives, including capturing water from air conditioners in downtown office building for pumping into lakes, the park board built a pipeline to the Mississippi River to pump river water to the Basset Creek pumping station and from there to the lakes. That pump began operation in 1966 and continued periodically through the 1970s to the 1980s. Another ball field was constructed in the park near Thomas Avenue in 1968, when a swampy section of the land was filled and an offer of free fill from the local contractor proved too attractive to pass up. The most recent changes in the park began in 1996 with the creation of a commuter biking trail through the park to connect Brownwall Park and the Cedar Lake Trail to downtown. The last connection of biking trails occurred in 2002 when the Luce Line Trail was connected with Wirth Park to the Basset Creek Trail. It's a little more colder today than I thought it was going to be. It's supposed to snow tomorrow. This is the entrance to Theo Wirth Park. On Glenwood. That building is across the creek. Oh, it's muddy. Looks like there's a couple paths here. I'll keep going this way. I wonder what did that. So in order to get to there, you gotta cross the creek. Neat cozy picnic area. Whoa, that's a steep hill. This trail goes back to the mill. I don't know where that part that goes yet. Splits in the road. Oh. It's a lot of broken glass. Okay, that pathway that I was following comes out along the street. the police showed up. So I got proof that I've been on this side. Six more kids just ran out. I don't know if that cop caught any of those guys coming out of there, but he didn't get out or nothing from what I could tell. Please like, share, and subscribe to go on more adventures with us. Have an adventurous night. Bye.